Hey you guys, what's going on? So I figured I'd do this video while I'm sitting in the hospital with my husband. So if you hear the beeping in the background, pay it absolutely no attention. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the food stamp benefits being cut. Now, we don't know how long it's going to be cut off. We don't know how long folks is going to have to be dealing with this. But this is just my opinion on the whole ordeal. First of all, there are a lot of people who truly needs it. A lot of people. You have the elderly. You have people out here who barely is making it work 2 or 3 jobs and still don't have enough to feed themselves, their family. So I get that. So there are some people who should benefit from it, and in that's just the way it is. There are some people who should and some people who shouldn't. My problem is the ones that have these babies. Two, we can kind of say, okay, that's okay. But when you get into having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, some people literally have 9 children and they're getting food stamp benefits for 9 kids. Well, if you knew you couldn't take care of the first 1 or 2, why go out there and make 3, 4, and 5 more? I'm guilty of it. I was on food stamps back in the days when I was ignorant, didn't know how to manage money, wanted to just spend the benefits the way I wanted to. Of course, my kids were fed. Don't get me wrong, my kids were fed, but still, you should want more than waiting and relying on food stamps. I think that should be something that a person is on because they need it for a period of time, but not to utilize it as a crutch. And that's what a lot of these young people do. They utilize food stamps as a crutch. And to be honest with you, let me take my tag off. Well, no, that's not my work tag. It's okay. A lot of people use it to benefit themselves. They're going to school, they're working, they're trying to do something so that they would not have to rely on the government. Look at what just happened. You have people out here with all these children and all of a sudden the food stamp is turned off. They stopped it. Now, like I said, we don't know how long this is going to go on. So do I feel empathy for the elderly people and the folks out here who are really, struggling in a good way? And when I say struggling in a good way, I mean that young lady or that young man who's out there working a full-time job, and some of them even working a part-time job and going to school to make it happen, to create a better life for them and their children. But you should never want to use something like this as a crutch to stay on year after year after year. So a lot of people who are in a high tax bracket, I have a friend, she and her husband, they're in a high tax bracket because they make good money. And so they're like, why should we have to pay for someone else's child to eat when they're out here having 3, 4, 5, 6 kids? Then not only that, unfortunately, you check this out, the boyfriends, they benefit from the food stamp too. They have these guys coming over, the baby daddies, they're feeding them, they're cooking, they're going out here getting seafood boils because of course you could get the seafood boils off a food stamp also. So you're spending money for crabs, but what about spending money to load up your pantry for a rainy day just like this, when now it's stopped for a period of time and Lord knows how long it has stopped. But we have to be wise and good stewards over whatever it is that we get into our hands, even if it's through the government assistance. You shouldn't want to be on it forever. You shouldn't. Because the moment you make a little bit of money, y'all, my eyes are like this because I'm dirt tired. The moment you make a little bit of extra money, they're going to pull a little bit of the benefits away from you. So it's like you're in a position to where you can never grow. Who wants to live like that? If the mentality of people do not change, This will be the results moving forward. The mentality of the people has got to change. It has to. I haven't had food stamps in over 20 years now. Now, is it good to have? Heck yeah. If someone want to give me some, yes. But I would prefer getting out there and working, because I understand that at any moment, any time, they could take it away from you. And then what do you have? What do you have? But y'all would rather get the stamps, stay on it forever. You're buying and spending $200 and $300 to purchase a wig. Then you have to pay money to get the wig installed. You want to get your nails long, your toes done. Face beat. Face beat. You're spending $300 and something on a wig, and you're working maybe a minimum wage job, or a job paying you less than $20 an hour, because $20 an hour right now is like $15 an hour, how high and expensive things are. So that same money that you get, why don't, instead of putting it into your hair, you see me? I went to locks, because I am not spending, I don't even want to spend over $150 for a wig. And then it got to the point where I didn't even want to do that. If you can afford to do it, yes. If you can afford to do it. But why are you on food stamps and you're spending that kind of money on your hair, and now everyone is hollering? They're crying now. Folks are literally crying now. But what did you do with it when you had it in your hands? Just because you get $1,000 a month in food stamps, I'm sure that doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend it. You don't have to spend all of that in 1 month. So we have to be good stewards over everything that we get, whether we work for it or whether it's given to us, because food stamps is given to you. Housing is given to you. And I've been on it all. Every single thing. Everything that they could have given, I was on it over 20 years ago. And I went around, messed around, had 1 baby, 2 babies, 3 babies. And what do you think is going to happen? After a while, it gets old. After a while, it gets old. So use this time instead of worrying about, use this time instead of fussing and carrying on about the benefits stopping. Use this opportunity to strategize on what your next move is going to be. Figure out what it is that you really enjoy doing that could bring you in some money. Right now is not the time to cry about it, because clearly that's not doing any good. Right now is the time to get strategic about what can I do. When you get your taxes, $5,000, put that money to the side. Imagine if you just put it to the side and watch it grow. I wish I had someone had told me these things when I was having my babies. I was young, getting all the $4,000 and $5,000 back. Oh boy, we thought we were rich then. But that money goes just like that. Nothing but the flat screen TVs are strolling out. The car dealerships is banging around that time. They get these expensive cars. 2 or 3 months later, the car is repossessed. Come on, man, y'all. We got to do better. We got to do better. So while I am so sorry for the older people who truly needs it, besides the children who's going to suffer from this, it's difficult for me to feel empathy for the grown adults, because there's too many people out here on social media that's talking about saving, building wealth, planning for your future. There's too many. So if you're on social media, you can never say you haven't heard anyone that's telling you about being good stewards over your money, investing, saving. Over 20 years ago, there was no social media. We didn't have Facebook 20 years ago that I could recall. We didn't have Instagram, TikTok, and all of these things. We didn't have it. So we had to rely on our family and friends and co-workers who may be wise enough and smart enough to share information like that with us. I was blessed with great friends. I didn't know anything about a lot of things, but the people that God put into my life has taught me a lot. I didn't stay in school long enough to even know anything about history, so I had great friends that talked to me even about politics. That's how I gained all of my information, because I didn't come from a family that discussed politics in my house. We just didn't hear anything about that. And again, school was not my forte. I could not stand school. So guess what ended up happening? Food stamps, WIC, what is the other thing? Welfare, housing. I've had it all. But thank God, He's brought me from that. He took me out of that because I wanted more. I wanted more. I never wanted to go back on it. Like over 20 years ago, to me, it's an insult to me if I could get out there and work. If I needed it, yes. Yes, 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 yes. I would get it if I truly, truly needed it. But I would rather not, because it's like it has this hovering poverty mentality. But if you're on it and you have a plan and a goal to get off of it, thumbs up all the way for you. But just don't sit back and relax and think that this is supposed to be your life forever. Things stop. Things changes. And this world is getting terrible. So I'm out of here now, guys. I just wanted to share my little 1 cent on it. Little 1 cent. My eyes are tired, y'all. I am tired. And then I think I have a bit of a headache too. But y'all take care. Please share the video. And as always, healthy mind, joyful life. Do not allow anyone to distort your peace, joy, or happiness. Okay? If you've not already done so, please subscribe once again. Share the video once again. And click that notification bell so that you will be notified when I am uploading new content. Bye-bye for now, because that thing is beeping away. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.